Today we will learn about what does it mean to reject unfavorable things. Bhaktivedanta Thakur explains that second thing is one should give up everything that is unfavorable to the discharge of devotional service and should be determined to give it all up. So this is Pratikulasya Varjanam. We should chant this bhajan. Keshava tuva jagata vichitra Keshava tuva jagata vichitra Karma vipake bhavavana brahmahi Karma vipake bhavavana brahmahi Vekhalo ranga bahu chitra Vekhalo ranga bahu chitra Keshava tuva jagata vichitra Tava prada vismriti ये हमारा जंत्रणा तवा तुवा पद विस्मृति ये हमारा जंत्रणा क्लेश दहन दोई जाए क्लेश दहन दोई जाए कपिल पतंजलि गौतम कन बोधि कपिल पतंजलि गौतम कन भोजी जैमिनी बौद्ध अवधाय जैमिनी बौद्ध अवधाय केशव तुवा जगत विचित्र केशव तुवा जगत विचित्र तब कोई निज मते भुक्ति मुक्ति आचतो तब कोई निज मते भुक्ति मुक्ति आचतो पातै नाना विध पांद नानाविध फांद So sabhuvanchaka tuva bhakti bahirmukha. So sabhuvanchaka. So sabhuvanchaka tuva bhakti bahirmukha. Gatave vishama paramada. Gatave vishama paramanda. Keshava tuva jagata vichitra. Keshava tuva jagata vichitra. Vaimukha vanchane vataso tabu. Vaimukha vanchane Vaimukha vanchane vataso tabu. Nirmala vividha pasara. Nirmala vividha pasara. Dandavata durato bhakti vinoda belo. Dandavata durato bhakti vinoda belo. Bhakta charana kori sara. Bhakta charana kori sara. Keshava tuva jagata vichitra. Keshava tuva jagata vichitra. O Keshav, this material creation of yours is most strange. I have roamed throughout the forest of this universe in consequence of my selfish acts, and I have beheld many curious sights. Forgetfulness of your lotus feet, which is bitter suffering unto death, burns me with its scorching pain. In this helpless condition, my would-be saviors, like the sages, philosophers, Kapil, Gautam, Kana, Jaimini, and Buddha, have come running to my aid. Each expounds his particular view, dangling various pleasures and liberation as bait in their philosophical traps. But all of them are just bogus cheaters, being averse to your devotional service, and are therefore a source of fatal danger. Every one of them are cunning experts of karma, jnana, yoga, and tapa, who provide various kinds of tempting bait for cheating the souls who are averse to you. Having paid his respects to these cheating philosophers from afar, Bhaktivedanta takes refuge at the feet of your devotees as the essence of his life. So, this song of Bhaktivedanta Thakur especially exposes us not knowing Krishna consciousness, or not having the taste for chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, our situation is like that we'll be trapped by others. And others are cheaters. Even though they have name in the pages of history, prestige, all these names are very peculiar, but they are all atheist. Even Buddha came as an incarnation of Lord Krishna, but he was atheist. You can't follow him. Bhaktivedanta Thakur says that Kapila Muni, the name is not Kardam and Devahuti's Putra Kapil. It is an impostor Kapil. Prabhupada mentions several times that he expounded Sankhya Yoga, but it was devoid of devotional service. So what good it is? While Devahuti Kapila did not exclude Krishna, rather he put the entire Sankhya Yoga system, that is an analytical study between the soul and the body, and bringing us back to the point of surrender to Lord Krishna, because he was incarnation of Krishna himself. He instructed his mother for pure devotional service. So, Devahuti Kapil's Sankhya Yoga is different than this impostor Kapil that we should be afraid of. Don't go nearby them. Jaimini put up Karma Mimamsa. He was direct student of Vyasadeva. But he was an atheist. Karma Mimamsa is simply devoting glories of your karma and putting the trap that you will never come out from the karma bandhan. But he glorifies the karma, not Krishna. Maybe he must have mistaken in spelling. Karma, Krishna. Patanjali, Baba Ramadev, ki jai. He doesn't teach anything beyond the asana and pranayama. If he teaches beyond, that is pratyahar, dharana, dhyana and samadhi, his business would not be there. He deliberately, conducts his so-called yoga system just to make you more sick so he can make a business out of his Ayurveda pharmacy, Patanjali pharmacy. Come on, it's a cheating. Gautam Rishi was also an atheist. And he happens to be guru, a teacher, spiritual teacher for many. So, the last one is Kanabhoji. Kanabhoji is very much appreciated by atheist scientists. Kana Bhoji, Kana means particle and Bhoji means one who eats the particles. It's called Kana Bhoji. And his name is Kanadrishi. Is called. And he was a great ascetic, but he was an atheist. He propounded the atomic theory. Parmanuvad. And he wrote a treatise on it, upon which today the scientists are so mesmerized that the Chitkan, the particle, which we call is the soul, they want to split and make it available as God particle. I have mentioned, you keep up with this so-called scientific advancement, and these are the experiments going on since last 8 years. And believe me or not, they are so frustrated. Their headquarters are in Geneva, and they made a 25-mile radius underground tunnel, sealed perfectly, spent about several $1 billion, and every different stations they put the cooling system called helium, pressurized helium, in order to cool down the atomic fission. 3 years back, they were in news because they made a super, or what we call a huge hadron collider that shoots the electrons so fast in 25-mile radius and hits the target, a little atom, and split it into several particles. Amongst the particle, those who know little science, an atom is made up of nucleus and electrons revolving around. But the neutron, that there is a nucleus, has to be penetrated, and the splitting will generate many subparticles. They were calculating the mass of the particle and they always find something missing. A constant missing in the molecular weight or the atomic weight was there. So, Satyendranath Basu and Professor Higgs, they came to conclusion, all right, that the missing must be God particle. But in 1956, Prabhupada picked up this particular knowledge because he was also a chemist. And he knew the atomic aspect of all the chemicals and understanding the molecular structure. So, he writes this particular article in his first book ever to be published, is Easy Journey to Other Planets. And read from the first page onwards. He cites an article on 1956 from Times of India that 2 American scientists got Nobel Prize for postulating the possible existence of an antiparticle. And they describe antiparticle has opposite characteristics of the particle. So there must be existing an antiparticular world. Prabhupada said, we agree with these first 2 proposals. But that third proposition was that in given time and space, if both the antiparticle and particular world come together, there will be total destruction, devastation. Prabhupada said, we do not agree with this. Antiparticle world is the spiritual world. The spiritual atom, the spark of Krishna, comes from that region. It is spiritual in nature. It is confined in the body made up of material particles. Right? So the characteristics are completely opposite to each other. We agree that. But because parastasmatu bhavo anya vyakta vyakta sanatan, the antiparticular world is sanatan. That is, it doesn't have ever beginning nor end. So therefore, where is the possibility of total destruction? Prabhupada said, we don't agree. So he writes a beautiful article in the very first chapter in Easy Journey to Other Planets. And the scientists have been trying to pick this so-called antiparticle, what they call Higgs boson, because from the name Satyendranath Basu, they picked up Basu. So boson they call it. And Professor Higgs' name. So Higgs boson. But funny thing is that 3 years back, when the Super Hadron Collider went into action, it did shoot. And they captured the antiparticle. But it was not one. There were several. They thought that it was only one. But there are many. So which one is Higgs boson? They could not determine. Now, few months back, only 2 or 3 months back, they declared, we almost cornered the God particle. But there was a very startling news that leaked out, that there are about 2,500 scientists, and how did they pass time thinking on this material splitting and trying to catch God particle? They are so envious that we are almost ready to catch that God particle who is attributed to the origin of creation. We will understand everything about it. But every time they get frustrated. So we see in the scientists, there are groups. And those who are frustrated, they want to express their frustration. And it is very, very astounded that it happened about a month and a half back that news leaked out. And somebody videoed this particular frustration of the scientist because they can never catch him. Right? The institute that runs this operation in Geneva, it's a huge building. And there's a huge room for not only the visitors, but the immenseness of the building and the reception room is so big. And funny thing, it's not funny, it is organized thing. There is a 20-foot tall Nataraj Murti is there. And right in front of this Lord Shiva dancing, they say he is the God. But we want to capture him. But we are frustrated. How do we express our frustration? We should perform a drama. Because after all, it concerns with the life. We will take a human sacrifice. Human sacrifice is the means to go on an extreme understanding because it deals with a sane life. And unless and until, if one is giving up his life for service of Lord, it becomes a different matter for devotees, but it becomes a matter of the pride of frustration. They want to act as if they are going in the world of Jim Jones or whatever, the occultic performances. This scientist chose to perform an act of human sacrifice. It's drama, not real. But the frustration is real. They all were, 5-6 people are performing this drama of, imagine Jad Bharat is being dragged by the dacoits in front of Ma Kali. Here they are bringing the victim in front of Lord Shiva. I have seen this video, but then I will tell you what is the story. So that's why I'm narrating. They brought the victim also was under the black, that you can't see the face. And the people who are going to sacrifice, they are also there in the black, and as if they are going in a procession and bring the victim in the front, as if this is a human sacrifice is to be offered to please the Lord to reveal himself. Let me have Higgs boson. I will offer you the secret of life, means I will offer you a life. Huh? There is a nefarious theme. And the executor comes in front and in what they call their style of gesture, and in saying Lord Shiva, then takes a dagger and put the dagger around the neck, and there is a cry and the victim falls off. But this was taken on a video by some which was not official. And the news people in internet, they put it. They are expert these days that nothing is hidden. Caught on live camera. Everywhere you see that the crime is. So, when the killing was happening, everybody shouts out in 4-letter word. And that is so startling, as if they want to curse Lord Shiva. These are scientists. They are going occult. Kanad Rishi, of course, he propounded this atheistic theory of atomic science, and we think we are very proud that it was in India the mathematics came about, calculation, it was in India, the atomic theory treatise is available, it's revered like one of the Vedas. All right? But we can see that how jealous they are. They want to mistreat Lord Shiva. So when this video leaked out, it went for about a week or so. Then immediately the news for cover-up started. The CERN, CERN, is the institute, where this took place, and the reception room. And they say, oh, it is not an approved thing, because it is hurting sentiments of so many, especially Indians. And Indian scientists are there, they are atheistic. Professor Higgs and Professor Boson, all right? And many other scientists are still working behind that. They are leading Indian scientists for this experiment. And they are based in California, but they fly back and forth in Geneva, and they do that. But it's completely atheistic. They want to take over our devotional service and interpret that you are wrong, because we know who God is. You do not know. You are simply speculating. We don't have a proof. Only devotional service is to be proof. They think we are fools. But who is frustrated? Are we ever frustrated by taking up devotional service? But splitting atom is like splitting their head, not hair. And they don't have head. That's why they are frustrated. This is the game that they are playing to befool the general people. Bhaktivedanta says, I pay my respect afar. Don't go near. Well, I don't need them. Like that. So, Each expounds his particular view, dangling various pleasures and liberation as bait in their philosophical traps. But all of them are just bogus cheaters. Prabhupada says scientists are cheaters. Never trust them. But they are advancing in their process to capture God particle, Higgs boson. But they are so confronted that there are many Higgs boson. Which one is the real? Because now they are looking into the dark matter, the black hole, and antiparticles are originated there. We say, Vishnu or Krishna is also black. And you can never understand his black color. It's the original color. Garga Muni came for nomenclature of giving the names to Krishna and Balaram. When he says about Krishna, Idanim Krishna Gata, this boy has assumed the original color. Is the original personality of Godhead. If you see black, means you don't see at all. And Krishna is covering like black is Yogamaya covering. So, atheistics, philosophers are not to be, befriended with. Every one of them are cunning experts of karma, jnana, yoga, and tapa who provide various kinds of tempting bait for cheating the souls who are averse to you. They cheat who do not have affinity for your devotion. So having paid the respects to these cheating professors or philosophers, from afar, Bhaktivedanta takes refuge at the feet of your devotees as essence of his life. So we have to understand that association of such atheistic people should be avoided because it is detrimental to our devotional service. So pratikulam varjayat. This is pratikul. Generally, people are spoiling their lives for decorating the dead body and giving no attention at all to the spirit soul within. It becomes a social custom. If a wife dies before the husband, she should be decorated. Dead body of a wife should be decorated as if she has just came on the first day of marriage. She would be given the same clothes. Put the bindi, lipstick and everything, and then they say, Ram Bolo Bhai Ram. Decorating the dead body. Mandanam Loka Ranjanam. This becomes a kind of entertainment. Instead of evaluating the soul and its pricelessness, our business is just the opposite. To give more time to spiritual life and accept material necessities only as required. This makes life perfect. If we avoid this unnecessary entanglements and bewildering statement of the so-called scientists who have nothing in their hand, just nothing in the bank even, but yet they are willing to give you blank check. How would you trust them? This is Vedic way of life. We do not reject or accept anything until it is seen in the light of our Krishna conscious movement. Prabhupada says, anything favorable for Krishna consciousness we accept, and anything unfavorable we reject. Anukulasya sankalpa pratikulasya varjanam. So this is to be confirmed through Narada Bhakti Sutra number 9. Tasmin ananyata tad udasinata cha. Renunciation also means being exclusively dedicated to the Lord and indifferent to what stands in the way of His service. Udasinta means get ready to reject it. Get ready to not entertain the one which is an obstacle to our devotional service. Do not pamper. Oh, today let me enjoy and tomorrow I will kick you out. No, it never happens. Sutra number 10 is said, Anyashrayanam tyago nyanyata. Exclusive dedication to the Lord means giving up all shelters other than Him. If you ask how many shelters you have, we do not have yet the only shelter of Lord Krishna. We have a lot of other shelters like bank balance, families. Oh, I have my protector, my husband is here. But actually, in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, they are called all fallible soldiers. They may have something that you can think that they are protectors, but at the same time, we see they are going to fall off. How a fallible soldier become our protector. But the lotus feet of the Lord are infallible. Anyone who takes shelter is guaranteed given protection. Even life insurance, health insurance, these are all bogus cheating things. Because when you need it, they will give you hard time. And they steal Lord Krishna's words. Yogakshemam vahamyaham. Life Insurance Company of India. Is there a life insurance agent here? Please forgive me. But it's a hard fact. In Fiji, Life Insurance of India is there. Bank of Baroda is there. State Bank of India is there. Everybody is there. All right? So I went into one agency because that happened to be a friend of our devotees. So I went and said, Mataji was there, and I like Hare Krishna. I said, you are looking for clientele? I'm not the client, because I'm also selling you life insurance. But I give you guarantee, and you don't. Why did you steal that emblem of Lord Krishna? Yogakshemam vahamyam. Are you really thinking that you will be at the aid? When a person needs and he wants to claim his coverage, you go away. Never to answer them. And they say, oh, we are doing the paperwork. Oh, it is in process. Oh, is there? Baba, what is this? So this is cheating. I'm giving you life insurance. There is no cheating. Chant Hare Krishna and you will be protected. And you don't have to give anything in monthly installments. You have to pay daily installments of number of rounds of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Sutra number 11 is telling, Loka Vedeshu tad anukulasnya charanam tad virodheshu dasinata. Indifference towards what stands in the way of devotional service means to accept only those activities of social custom and Vedic injunction that are favorable to devotional service. Otherwise, even in society, those who are averse to Krishna consciousness, asangatyaga, give that association. It is not worthwhile. Sutra number 13, it is the repeat of the same previously we discussed. Anyatha patiya sankaya. Otherwise, there is every possibility of falling down. If a diseased person is being cured of the symptoms of his disease but does not care for the principles of healthy living, there is every possibility of relapse. Strictly speaking, if a devotee ignores the regulative principles and acts according to his whims, if, for example, he does not eat Krishna prasadam but eats anywhere and everywhere, such as is in restaurants, there is every possibility of his falling down. Everybody heard that? Next. If he accumulates money without spending it for devotional service, there is every possibility of his falling down. If he applies his energy not in service of the Lord, but in some material activity, there is every possibility of his falling down. If the devotee does not engage himself always in hearing and chanting the topics of Krishna and his activities, but instead indulges into idle talk, there is every chance of his falling down. Next. If a neophyte devotee does not follow the orders of spiritual master and simply officially sticks to the principles, or if he does not strictly follow the principles, there is every possibility of his falling down. Wait a minute. This is interesting. Listen again. If a neophyte devotee does not follow the orders of spiritual master and simply officially sticks to the principle, or if he does not strictly follow the principles, there is every possibility of his falling down. Which is the aparadha? Number. To disobey the orders of spiritual master weighs more than the 6 things which are detrimental to devotional service. Niyamagraha. Niyam means principles. Agraha means obstinately sticking for the sake of following, but not for the sake of advancement in spiritual life. So, one who officially sticks but ignores the orders of spiritual master, he will fall down. Otherwise, if he neglects the principle, he will also fall down. That is the niyamagraha. To become greedy is another cause of fall down. And to associate with persons who are not in devotional service is the last word in Maya's allurement for causing the devotee to fall down. Falling down means we are not progressing, we are regressing. And that is pratikulam. If our advancement is not there, then what is the use to keep the status quo? Devotional service cannot become stagnant and stink. Stagnant water always stinks. Flowing water does not stink. Devotional service is like flowing water of Ganges. This flow will remove all the obstructions in the path and will go and meet to the sea. So similarly, our attraction, our devotion to Lord Krishna should be also unhampered. And where the guiding principle is that niyamagraha means obstinately sticking to the niyam without any benefit or progress is not good. Right? So one has to take help of spiritual master. And if he ignores, then what? Where is the progress? In either way, one has to reveal his mind to the spiritual master. Instead of, I got initiated, I don't need any instructions, I will do. Queen Kunti is telling what are real obstacles in our path of advancement in devotional service. Janmaishwarya Sruta Sribhi Edamana Madapuman Naivaharatam Abhidatum Vai Tvam Akinchana Gocharam. She says, my Lord, your Lordship can easily be approached, but only by those who are materially exhausted. One who is on the path of material progress, trying to improve himself with respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, and bodily beauty, cannot approach you with sincere feeling. What good is one who works at Estee Lauder and artificially uplift so-called attraction, which is not called beauty even. The beauty is valuable with the sanskaras. And actually, beauty may cause others to become envious. So, high parentage means birth in a very, very aristocratic family. Janma, Aishwarya means opulent families. Third is Sruta, very learned. Accumulating so many degrees. Degrees are called in Sanskrit upadhi. Upadhi has two meanings. Dhi means intelligent, upa means subordinate. So accumulation of degrees, diplomas, they are upadhis. But actually they are troubles also. So another meaning of upadhi is trouble. So what good is to increase the troubles? People are not getting employment in whatever they have taken, so they want to change the subject matter and get another one. MA, double PhD. Why double? Double is trouble. It is not a settling issue. So Kunti is very wise, very intelligent. She says, my dear Lord, in devotional service, to obtain you, one must become exhausted with all the material assets. Bodily beauty is also material asset. What is the use of it? Actually, it is detrimental. Sometimes it is seen that spiritual advancement or spiritually advanced persons become materially impoverished Krishna gives that need. Become impoverished. Yasyaham anugrahanami harishyat taddanam sanai. Krishna says, if I bestow my mercy on somebody, I will take away first his whole assets. Make him dependent upon me. That is my real mercy. And this is not discouragement. Please don't be discouraged. The principle of life should be to decrease the degree of material intoxication, which leads one to be more and more illusioned without aim of life. The life is very precious and it cannot be wasted. He is repairing. Today is a repairing day of all the instruments. Prabhu, watch out your instruments. Mine is there. Now he was rotating everywhere. Therefore she says, Atha means therefore, Vishvesha Vishvatman Vishwamurte Swakeshu me Sneha Pasham Mama Chindi Dradam Pandushu Vishnushu. The Lord of the universe, O Lord of the universe, source of the universe, O personality of the form of the universe, please therefore sever my ties of affection for my kinsmen, the Pandavas and Vrishnis. She is not coping out, but she says, even I am in their midst, but sever my ties of affection. So I can repose all my affection to your lotus feet, my Lord. I will be there performing the duty, but without affection, without attachment to them, without any strings. That I cannot depend upon them. I depend only on you. A pure devotee of the Lord is ashamed to ask anything in self-interest from the Lord. But the householders are sometimes obliged to ask favors from the Lord, being bound by the ties of family affection. Srimati Kunti Devi was conscious of this fact, and therefore she prayed to the Lord to cut off the affectionate tie from her own kinsmen, the Pandavas and Vrishnis. This is Srila Prabhupada's telling in the purport of those particular verses. Bhakti involves becoming free from the attachment of this material world and becoming attached instead to Krishna. The so-called affection of family, society, country, etc. consists of different phases of sense gratification. These affections in the material world are meant for sense gratification. Sense means our five senses, and gratify means that affection is subjected to give pleasure to the senses. My family members will give pleasure to senses. Oh, seeing my grandchild, I will become happy because I am also old and dependent. My child is also very infant but dependent, so we are in the same business. Right? When Kunti Devi wanted to cut off the family relation, she meant to cut off the relation of the skin. The skin relation is the cause of material bondage, but the relation of the soul is the cause of freedom. So Kunti is not coping out. Kunti wants to stay in the family, but without that attachment. Can we try this? If we want to develop, then it will become a very positive asset. It will help others. Otherwise, we are becoming materially dependent upon each other, and we do not want to leave him alone. Oh, Krishna, you are alone anyway. But we have to depend upon each other. They try to reason for their affection. But Krishna says that it will be a short-lived, because you are going to change your partner. You are going to change your parents. You are going to change all your kinsmen. You will create another set of husband, wife, parents, children. All these relationships are temporary. We keep on changing. So, why do you want to remove me instead of removing them? This is unfair. Krishna reasons that in ignorance we keep on continuing the relationship as if they are everlasting. And we don't like when they are snatched away from our hands. This relation of the soul to soul can be established via medium of the relation with the super soul. Seeing in the darkness is not seeing. Because in darkness you can't see anything, so why do you attempt? The bodily relations are caused by our ignorance. So depending upon those relations, they are not going to give us anything. We have to leave them aside. It doesn't mean we have to leave aside our family members. No. Duties with detachment is essential, because it will be conducive to our devotional service. Otherwise, they are going to become burden. And how long can you carry on the burden? You will want to give up yourself. But when Krishna tells, give up, you don't want to give up. Why? Oh, we will give up on our own when we think it will fit. But such thinking never arises, because Krishna does not give you that intelligence because you don't want. So, but seeing by the light of the sun means seeing the sun and everything else which was unseen in the darkness. That is the way of devotional service. Family affection will not allow us to see the things as they are. But when we see the reflected light, we recognize each other. But at the same time, such ties are generated by the ignorance of the family bondage. How is it that we can ever give up? So when Krishna sheds light of divine knowledge, the material knowledge is nothing but darkness. In Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, 66th verse, Krishna says, Sarva dharmana parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishyami ma sucha. Abandon all varieties of the religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. In ignorance, we are fearful. But when Krishna gives the guarantee to the surrendered soul, there is no cause of fear. One may perform particular occupational duty according to his position in the social order. But it is, if by executing his duty, one does not become the point of Krishna consciousness, all his activities are in vain. Anything that does not lead to perfectional stage of Krishna consciousness should be avoided. One that does not promote Krishna consciousness, should be avoided. Except even outside work which will allow us to remain Krishna conscious. Thank you very much. So, in this way we are covering the first two sessions. One is Anukulyena and Pratikulasya Varjanam. There are many things. The 10 offenses are to be avoided. Ignorance is to be avoided. Anarthas are to be avoided. They are all detrimental to our progress in devotional service. It will not help us to surrender to Krishna. So anybody has anything to ask, question?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for your class. Actually, what we just saw here is that we see how Kunti Devi wanted to cut off the affection between from Pandavas and Vrishnis. But then, from my understanding, is that the Pandavas were very dear to Lord Krishna and they were devotees of Krishna, and then we are supposed to develop the attachment to devotees. So how do we understand?
The devotee's behavior is exemplary for common man to become an example for our understanding. Right? They were divine, but they act on a platform where all the complications of life is coming in front of them. Don't worry who are they. Worry their examples which are afflicting us or not. Example is better than the precept because it is live, it is related, and it is beneficial. Precept is dry unless and until it's accompanied by an example. It doesn't make much sense for common people to understand. Otherwise, when you see so much complicacy, so much politics, and so much detailed aspects has been woven in Mahabharata, and everybody, even though they were pure devotees, they were playing in a very precarious way. But Krishna made them play. Any one of us living in this material world can be afflicted more or less in same way. Because the principle of material world acting is the same then and now also. But now it will be very much expediting because it's Kali Yuga, very short-lived. We are forced to make it very, very quick progress, instant. Everything is available in instant. So these examples are instant in front of us. Don't think their origin divine. If you can think Krishna is one of like us, right? Why not Pandavas are not one of like us? Krishna warns that do not imitate me. But the Pandavas do not say, do not imitate me. Because the material problems are problems. Krishna never faced a problem. He helps us to resolve our problems, their problems. And we want to imitate him. We don't want to imitate Pandavas. You got... Yes, Prabhu, anybody else? Yeah.
Maharaj, my question is not related to the topic itself, but you brought out the topic during the lecture, so my question is related to that. You're mentioning about the research that the CERN organization was doing. So my question is such, I'll just give you an instance before I ask my question, that Albert Einstein developed an equation, and according to that equation, he said that no particle, or basically no entity, can travel at the speed of light. So if any entity travels at the speed of light, its mass would become infinity. So there was, I think, in this research itself, when you mentioned that many particles came out, so there was a subatomic particle which they found, which is called as neutrino, and that particle was found to be traveling at the speed of light, but its mass was not infinity. So my question is that, does Maya work in this way, that where it keeps on giving certain instances where previous theories get defied, so that it gives an inspiration for the scientists to work more? This is what I understood from this instance.
Krishna says, Naham prakasa sarvasya yoga maya samavruta. He keeps hidden himself. He does not expose to anybody and everybody. His exposition is only to those who are faithfully cultivating loving relationship with him. But this is not a loving relationship. This is a challenge. No, not only challenge, but derogation. They are like demons, acting like demons who were challenging the authority of the Supreme Lord. And nonetheless, they are frustrated. So they prove themselves. Our idea is not to glorify. Let them make whatever he thinks. But when they enter or venture into a wrong territory which does not belong to them, that is Krishna consciousness. They are not going to put rules on us just like atheistic government puts. In Russia, they recently put that anybody who preaches in their own house, they will be sent to jail. They can't do. This is targeted to the other denomination of Christianity. What to speak of Muslim? There are so many Muslims. And you know who became the first victim of this law? An ISKCON devotee. An ISKCON devotee was distributing books, right? And he was caught by the police. And they have to go to the court. The judge says, the laws are not yet clear. They are ambiguous. What constitutes illegality? This person, according to his religion, was executing his right to distribute books. It's not a crime. He said, go. He was released. But the law is blind. The very first victim of the law was an ISKCON devotee. We are not afraid, but at the same time you can see persecution will be there. And Prabhupada warned us well before that. First, they will ignore. Then they will laugh at you. And if you are still pushing on, then they will persecute. At last, they will execute you. So, Devotional service is creating a rebellion in the impious lives. Tadavaga visargo janataga viplavo yasmin pratishlokam abaddavatapad namani anantasya yasho ankitani yat shunvanti gayanti smaranti sadhava. This is the verdict, and devotees are ready to lay their life.
Maharaj, one more question. Those 6 rishis, those propounded the 6 philosophies, one of them was Gautam Rishi. Is the Gautam Rishi same as Ahilya's husband mentioned in Ramayana?
Gautam and Ahalya, is that? No, Gautam Rishi was, but he was an impersonalist. But which Gautam, I'm not sure. If Ahalya is to be rescued by Lord Ramchandra, then it should not be that Gautam.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Anything else?
Thank you, Maharaj, such beautiful class. I have very simple questions. My question is, when you talk about abstain from anything which will take away from Krishna consciousness, my question is how we can balance this, because we work in this place, office, we go to university, and we learn a lot of things which is not conducive to the Krishna consciousness, a lot of philosophies. Now, these are part and parcel of our study. Some of the colleagues are part and parcel of our life. So socially we have to be, if we abandon everything, then we'll be alone and cut off from the society, which is also, it's not good for us to progress
you
our
mean
life.
Krishna consciousness is going to liberate you and you will deny your liberation?
No, how we can balance it?
Or you want to balance? You want to keep liberation in one hand and entanglement in another one? It's too difficult to ride on two opposite running horses, is it not? Why do you want to keep the balance? You think you are an expert? The falling down is sure. Where does it say to keep the balance? You think you will not survive without them? Don't you have enough association of the devotees here? I mean, let's be reasonable. Our position of imperfections is so great that even though we are trying to ride on two horses parallel or going in the same direction, yet we are tumbling off. Why do you think to go on two different horses of opposite direction? It's an instant, failure. Try to practice how to ride on two horses when going in parallel direction or the same direction. What is more beneficial? Do you think you are a loser? The world will lose, not you. Let the world go to hell. Who cares about that? Oh, world is going to hell. What about me? No, you're not going to hell. But how can I survive without the world? There is a bigger world waiting for you of like-mindedness and the spiritual sky. You know, it is 3 times bigger than this world, which is hardly perceptible with our naked eye. It is so immense, yet it is only 1/3. 2/3 are waiting for you to invite you with big embrace. Because you came from there and you are going back home, back to Godhead. Anything else? All right. So thank you very much. We'll try our best. Tomorrow? Monday. All right. Monday and Tuesday? Okay.